So here are all of my concealers that I'm going to declutter. And I also included any like specifically under eye setting powders with it, just because I figure it kind of makes sense in here more than anything else. So the way I've been doing these this time around is I've just been asking myself, okay, if I looked at my entire collection, what would I buy again? So like I'm pretend shopping my own stash to pretend like, okay, what do I love enough to keep that much that I would buy it again? Right off the bat, some of the ones I know I love and would keep, I've been using this Naked Skin Weightless Concealer a lot. Do I think it's like the most amazing concealer of all time? No. But do I really like it? Yes. I've traveled with it, which usually that's a sign that I really like it enough to have only that to use for like a week long or however long. So this one I really like. I like that the doe foot is like that kind of flattened out doe foot. I don't know why I like it, but I really do. And it blends well. All of these concealers crease. I don't care what anyone tells you, at least on me, all of them do. But if I kind of give it a minute, kind of pat it into the crease one more time and then use a setting powder, that completely transforms any of them. So something to keep in mind, but definitely a keep for me. Another definite keep is this Kat Von D one. I just recently got it and I really do like it. It's got really high coverage. I have it in L7 Warm. They have a million shades. I mean, the beauty of concealer is, you know, even if it's not perfect for you, you can still make it work. But I really like this. Is very, very brightening, very high coverage, but it's not as high coverage as say like the Tarte Maracuja Creaseless Concealer, that kind of a concealer. It's not quite as thick and tacky, and I really do like it. So definitely keeping that. Both of these are pretty new to my collection. I'm still trying out the YSL Touche Éclat one. And again, it's new to my collection. I like it, but I don't quite see why everyone's like, why it's such a cult classic. You know what I mean? It is nice. It blends very quickly into the skin. It is not a coverage type of concealer. So if that's what you're looking for, this is not for you, because that's not the idea. The idea is that it's just radiant. It brightens the area. I like it, but I need to try it more to figure out why it's such a cult classic, but I do like it. Another one that I love, it reminds me of the YSL Touche Éclat, is this one from number 7. It's their Radiant Glow Concealer, and this one is amazing. It's just as good as the YSL, but probably even better, because I know why I like this. It does the same thing I mentioned the other one does, but it's so much cheaper. So I don't love that the packaging gets super dirty super quickly, but I love this concealer. All right, so now let's just kind of go through these one by one to decide what I want to keep. Those were the 4 that really stood out to me as ones I absolutely adore. So starting here, the Super Stay Better Skin. I've had this for quite a while. Does it have an expiration date on it? Usually it has like that little symbol that tells you how long. I'm not seeing it anywhere, but I have had this a while, and I like it. It's not a bad concealer, but I feel like it's kind of, well, that's what stinks. You can never tell how much is left in it or not, but I don't know, I like it. Like, I like this one better than this Maybelline one. Now, this Fit Me is in the wrong shade. I will tell you that. I literally used it yesterday, and I was like, okay, that is way wrong. What was I thinking? I have no idea. So I'm going to definitely pass this Maybelline one on. The Better Skin, I think I want to just use up and then get rid of, because I like the shade. Again, it kind of has that like gray tone that I really like, but it's brightening, it stays in place, I like it. So, continuing on, I've gone through a lot of IT Cosmetics Bye Bye Under Eye, and I liked it, but it's more coverage than what I need right now where I'm at with my skin. But I really liked the Bye Bye Under Eye Illumination. This one is not quite, I don't want to say the other one's matte, because it's not. I mean, it's a concealer, it's just kind of a different world. But this one I really liked, and it just kind of added this glowy finish. It was really nice. I did still have to set it, because, I mean, please, it's super tacky, super high coverage, but I think it looked a little bit nicer than the regular one did on me, so I'm definitely going to keep this. I know my sister is obsessed with just the regular Bye Bye Under Eye, so but I really like the illuminating one. This is so hard, because I love, like, all of these. That's my problem. So this is the L'Oreal Visible Lift Blur. And this one, again, I have it in Fair, and I was so surprised at how much I like this. Again, it kind of has this almost gray tone to it, and I love that. It just ends up looking really natural on me. Of course, that wouldn't look natural on everyone, but again, you do have to set this one, but I just really like it. I love, it comes with a pretty good amount of concealer. Like this comes with 0.2 fluid ounces. This comes with 0.6. So it comes with a lot of concealer. You really can get all of the use out of it because it is in a squeezy tube. And I was just very surprised by how much I liked it. This one, I go so back and forth with. This is the Maybelline Instant Age Rewind from the drugstore. And I like it, but I feel like it's just kind of, I don't know, now that I've tried so many more drugstore concealers, this one doesn't wow me as much. This one's a little bit too yellow for me as well, so I'm going to pass it on. I like the like brightening one, but that one's almost too pink as well, so I kind of need to find a common ground. This one's the neutralizer shade, so it is meant to neutralize dark circles, things like that, but it's just too yellow for me. It doesn't quite work. The Born This Way's concealers I like. I don't think I need to keep both. I have fair and light. I'm going to keep light and get rid of fair, but just so you can get an idea swatch-wise in case you're fair like I am and you're curious. So that one is fair. And then light, I mean, they're so similar. I think light has a little bit more of a warmer tone to it. You can see them there. I like them both, but I certainly don't need them both, so I'm going to keep light and pass on fair. One of my sisters will be very excited. So this is the Radiant shade of the Dream Lumi. And I do like this, but it's very, my dog's barking in the other room. It's just very pink. It's just too pink. And even when I blend it out, I used to love this, but I think, again, now that I've tried so many more products, it's just a little bit too almost salmon-y for me. And again, I don't need that much, but if you do, you'd really like this. But I'm going to pass that one on as well. So some of these that I've had for a while that it might be just time to get rid of. This Tarte Maracuja Creaseless Concealer I love, but this is years old and this says 12 months, so it's just time. Will I repurchase eventually? Maybe. But I have this NYX one that is just as good and I just recently got. It's the NYX Gotcha Covered one in light. It's the same kind of a, you know, kind of squeezy tube. Very thick formula. Kind of reminds me of the Bye Bye Under Eye Illumination. Very high coverage. It's waterproof as well. I did like a waterproof test video and I wore a full face of makeup and tried out a bunch of things like this that were claimed to be waterproof to see, like, if you just stand in the shower with water running over you for minutes, will it stay on? And everything did. I was so surprised. It was all drugstore. So I really, really like this. Very impressed by it. So this MAC Pro Longwear Concealer I have had since forever. Does it say? It doesn't have the little thing with the years, but I have had this for so long. It's starting to look really gross. I can't believe I've only used half of it, or maybe make like 2/3. I've had this for so long, so it's just time to say goodbye. I feel like I've had this since I started my channel, which is terrifying to me, so I need to stop using it and pass it on. But I'll probably buy a new one eventually. I might get it a shade lighter, I don't know. This, by the way, I have in NC15. Actually, that was pretty good. Maybe I would get the same. So this Dream Lumi I like a little bit better. This one's in Ivory, so it's not quite a brightening, radiant type shade. It's more of a natural for me kind of a shade, and I do really like these, so I'm gonna keep that. This I just don't ever use. This is this Closing Cover Pencil Concealer. It's by Misha. It's a really creamy concealer stick, but I just don't ever use it. It's a little bit deep for me if you want to conceal pimples and stuff, but I don't know. This I'm glad to get rid of. This is the Sonia Kashuk Quad I've talked about in a couple things. It's really creamy. Some of them are, well, no, they all are, but it doesn't work. Like, you try and like blend it in and it doesn't. I love that it's got different undertones, and then it has this powder to kind of set it, but I just never ever use it. I don't like the way it works. It just kind of glides around and never just stays put, so that I'm getting rid of. This Ofra banana powder, look, this is just too yellow for me. The perfect example, here, let me kind of get it out of here, is this. This is a NYX banana powder, and it's much lighter than that. That is totally more for me, considering my skin tone. So I'm going to keep the NYX one, which is amazing, and get rid of the Ofra one and pass it on to someone that might really, really like it. But I'm going to keep the NYX one. This is the last, these are all powders I'll talk about in a sec, but this is the last like actual concealer by Bobbi Brown. It's their corrector in light bisque, and This is one of those things that I just like to have. I don't use that very often, but if like I really was just really tired that day and I had dark circles, whatever, this is ideal. So it's not an everyday kind of a concealer, but it's the only thing I have like this for if I needed it. And it's such a better formula than the Sonia Kashuk one is. It actually stays in place, so I really like that. So now I've got these 6 powders. I'm already keeping my NYX one. I love that this is a press one, but it really does a great job brightening and setting the under eye. But these I just got in a set, and I'm still kind of trying out to determine what I like best. The only one I might consider getting rid of is, they're all translucent, but this is Violet, Vanilla, and Vanilla Rose. This pink one I think doesn't make sense for me. So that might be the only one I would like think about getting rid of at this point, this early in the game, because I don't think pink is what I quite need under there. But for now, since I did just recently get these and I'm still trying them out, I'm going to keep them, try them out. I probably won't necessarily keep all 3, we'll see, but I really, really like them. I love all 3 of these as well. This Bareminerals Concealer in Well Rested is fantastic. It is so brightening, very yellow, but I mean, if you want to look like flawless under your eye, this is the way to go. It is so perfecting and beautiful. Now, if you get too heavy-handed with it, it can look kind of crazy, but it is what it is. I still really, really like it. So definitely keeping this. I would repurchase that again and again. This Everyday Minerals one, I just swatched there. It's very, very similar to the Bareminerals, but a little bit lighter, not quite as like yellow toned. So I might keep that as well. And then this is the Laura Mercier one, and it's their Secret Brightening Powder in number 1. And it's very similar. I have like her whole loose powder as well. But this one's just a white translucent powder. It's just very brightening. I like it. So I'm definitely going to keep that as well. So this is everything I'm keeping. This is what I'm getting rid of. I think I've got too much, as always. But of course, this is my job. And some of these, like once I use them up, I'm not going to repurchase. Like I don't think I'll repurchase the Better Skin or the Dream Lumi or the Born This Way. You know, things like that. These, I might not have all of them forever, but the rest I use all the time other than the Bobbi Brown. So I love them, I use them, I know that I could close my eyes, reach in a drawer and grab any one of them and really like the look that it gives me. So that feels great. These are either just too old or they're not the right shade or I just don't like the formula. So this is great to get rid of these. Some of them will just go straight in the trash. These are pretty old. But other ones that are pretty new, I might pass on to a sister that doesn't mind. But yeah, I think I did okay. It's not my best declutter. If you're interested in watching more declutters, I've done some really ruthless ones. My blush one, I got rid of 50% of my collection. My bronzer one, I did the same. I've got rid of a lot of highlighters, foundations, etc. So definitely check those out, as well as all of my other years of declutter videos. If you're just kind of inspired or wanting to feel inspired, I'll link that playlist below. Other than that, I hope you'll subscribe and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye!